Hey guys, if you want to come chat with me when I'm not making videos, come join my Discord, link down below. Alright, so this video is going to be kinda different because, well, I got sent a gaming PC for a review, but it's not what you would expect really, and I hope you guys stay for the whole video to know why, as I think you guys can learn something from watching this. What's up guys, ProdiJay here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on a PC, kinda. Now disclaimer, even though this PC was sent to me to review and I get to keep it, I'm going to be fully honest just like all my other videos because I want you guys to know my full thoughts on what I think about this PC. But anyways, getting straight into this review, I got sent a gaming PC from a company called Disaster Runout Gear, which the site mostly sells survival and emergency preparation products, which I found kind of weird that they were trying to sell a PC from the site. But apparently they are launching their upcoming Usintech gaming PC line and asked me to review their first PC, and that's what I did. So upon unboxing the PC, it came with a normal power cord, a wireless USB adapter, and then of course the PC itself. But I will say that it came as a big red flag when I saw that the box was the original box for the PC case, and nowhere on the box does it show that it came from Usintech or aka Disaster Runout Gear. But at this point, I was just giving it the benefit of the doubt because I haven't begun testing it out yet. But before I show you the specs and the gameplay, I want you guys to know that this company is selling this PC for $540, okay? Remember that, $540. So, getting to the specs, this PC is running a Ryzen 5 2400G APU, no GPU, as this PC uses the integrated graphics from the processor. Next, there's one stick of 8GB of DDR4 RAM, clocked at 2400 MHz, a 512GB NVMe SSD with Windows 10 Pro 64-bit installed, a 500-watt power supply, and all of that is in a Thermal Lake Micro ATX case. Now, if you guys actually got some common sense, you would realize that this PC is definitely not worth $540. I mean, if anything, if I was being generous, I would say that this PC should cost about $300 at best, because I could build a way better PC for the same price that these guys are trying to sell it at. But despite the poor pricing of the PC, I still tested it out in 5 games, 3 games that are usually easy to run, 2 games that usually demand a lot, and for my recording software, I recorded with Dxtory as I played all the games with and without it on, and it didn't drop my FPS at all. Now, starting off with one of the easiest games to run is CSGO. Which for all the games I played, I made sure I was on the lowest possible settings because this PC really can't handle much, but I did make sure that my resolution was 1920 by 1080, otherwise known as 1080p. And I mean, as you can see right here, I average about 50 to 55 FPS, while at some moments my frames would drop down to 48 frames or lower, which if you're a normal CSGO player, you would know that most people usually play this game at 100 FPS at the minimum. And to see this gaming rig underperform so bad in this game is quite sad, honestly, especially since this game is like 7 years old. Next up, I played one of my favorite games, Rocket League, and even on the lowest settings for this game, the performance from the PC was pretty awful, as I had an average of 40 FPS in the game. And this is quite unplayable in my opinion, because as a Rocket League player, you gotta be able to make accurate shots, but it's hard to do that when you're not playing at a stable 60 FPS at the least, which in the gameplay, I missed a fair amount of shots that I would normally make because of the awful frame rate. Then, I decided to play one of the most cancerous games on the planet, Fortnite. And despite being on the lowest settings, surprise surprise, the PC still underperforms. But I was surprised that it was able to maintain an average 30 FPS when I was alone, but then when I started moving towards other people, the FPS dropped to around 20, which is definitely unacceptable again. And those are the 3 games that are meant to be easy to run. But let's move on to the 2 games that usually demand a lot. First one being PUBG, and man oh man, I really had a lot of doubt of being able to play this game, especially since I was getting about 10 FPS in the main menu, and when I actually loaded into a game of duos, I was surprised that even on the lowest settings, I was getting an average of 20 FPS, and that's actually kind of crazy to see because the minimum requirements for PUBG demands an AMD FX 6300 and a GTX 960, so I don't know how I was able to even get 20 FPS in this game with this Ryzen APU. Then finally, for the last game I played, it was Skyrim Special Edition, and trust me, there's no feeling like opening your eyes to the world of Skyrim on the lowest settings at 20 FPS being greeted with, "Hey you, you're finally awake."
Hey, you. Finally awake.
But yeah, I played a bit in the beginning of the game, and the FPS soon averaged around the 25 to 35 FPS range, which for an APU is still surprising to me. But with that all out of the way, I hope you guys can tell that this PC should not be the performance of a $540 PC, which in all honesty, this PC is pretty much a scam, and I gotta call this PC a scam for multiple reasons, one of which is false advertising, because if you actually go to the product page of the PC on their website and go to the description, they say, end quote, "The Usintech gaming PC with the Ryzen 5 2400G processor will deliver the power you need to play your top favorite video games with no compromise at a price you can afford." That's the biggest lie I've ever read, especially after testing out this PC for different games. But wait, it gets better. If you scroll down more, they say that this PC is great for professionals, productivity, streamers. But if you scroll a bit more near the end, they say it's great for 4K content creation and streaming 4K. I gotta be honest here, this is some BS right here, because either they didn't test out the PC themselves, or they know nothing about PCs in general, or they're just lying to make a quick buck. And I think it's obvious that you shouldn't buy from this site, especially when they say that the Vega 11 graphics play similar to a PS4 and Xbox and is made for playing Battlefield, Fairy Cry, Fortnite, GTA 5, Overwatch, and more. And can I just make the point that they legit misspelled Far Cry? I mean, seriously. And also, I didn't mention this before, but some of the parts used within this PC are not from major companies, but more so from cheap sellers in a way. For example, the RAM used for this build is from some company called Oloy, and when I went to the original listing, it said it was sold out. But when I went to the other variants of the RAM, I saw that people left negative reviews saying that it messed up their PCs and such. Now, in my case, the PC sent to me seem to be working fine, but this is quite concerning to me that they don't use parts from recognizable companies, because this really makes the buyer wary on if the PC will last a long time. Plus, to add on to what I said before, another problem that I have with this company is the fact that they don't list out the specs of the PC in detail, because if you go to the specs of the product page, they don't specify the frequency of the RAM at all, which is important, and they don't list the specific type of motherboard used in the PC, like what type of brand it is. And I did email back one of the people from the company on what the exact specs are, and in return, they told me I could use the software CPU-Z for more info, or to just go to the system info in the device manager for the PC. And in my opinion, I'm not really a fan that they don't already list the full specs on their site, including the brands of each part, which I guess the only reason why they don't actually fully list out the specs in detail is because they probably know some people will be wary of the brands that they use, as they are not well known. But at this point in the review, I would go over the pros and cons of this PC. But to be fair, the only possible pro that I see with this computer is the fact that they use an SSD. And as of cons, I feel like I've already said enough, except the fact that the PC has pretty bad cable management. But let's get to my conclusion of this. Should you buy the Usintech gaming PC? No, not at all. Is it worth buying a pre-built PC? It depends, mostly because some companies and people will try to upcharge a PC to a certain amount, make it seem like it's a good deal either by adding RGB or in this case false advertising the true processing power. But some companies do sell pre-built PCs for a good value, like NZXT for example, as they actually show the amount of FPS you would get in games, depending on what parts you choose. But for my personal advice, if you're looking at buying a pre-built computer, I would recommend looking up the prices of the individual parts and look at test videos on YouTube of how they perform, because if you go on Amazon right now and look up pre-built gaming PCs, you're gonna see a ton of different PCs that look like good deals on the surface, but if you look closer, they really aren't. And this goes the same for PC deals on Craigslist and eBay. Even though a seller may have a high customer rating, it could be because the people buying the PC don't actually realize how bad of a deal they're getting. And I hope this video can open some of your eyes a bit more when looking at buying a pre-built PC, because even though there are pros like having the PC game ready and no need to set it up yourself, there are a fair amount of cons as well. And before I end off the video, comment down below the worst PC deal you've ever seen, or if you actually bought a PC but regret it afterwards, because this could be a good way to teach others to be careful when buying PCs. But I think that's gonna wrap it up, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, drop a like and subscribe for more quality content like this. Also, if you guys can, go join my Discord in the link down below, as I do love talking to you guys. And before I end off the video, I do want to let you guys know that I have announced the start of my setup to a showdown series in my last video, where I'll be showing off you guys' setups to everyone. So if you want to show off your setup, whether it's cheap, expensive, or just anything, I'll be sure to leave a link to the video guidelines so you can submit your setup. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to have notifications on so you won't miss any of my videos. My name's ProdiJay, and as always, stay classy.